So coming on to another question I wanted, because you were one of the things I always remembered you mainly for, and this is one thing that a lot of people were asking me: who is Maurice Crump? How are you getting to interview him? I said, it's a surprise. Wait till the interview turns up. One of the things I said, well, who is? I said he trained Chadwick Boseman for Black Panther, and they were all their faces fell to the ground. I went, no, he didn't. That's all right then. Pulled my phone out, showed him the training clips. Said, look, there's Chadwick Boseman. That's Maurice Crump. Can you complain about that now? No, I don't think so. And then they went quiet and didn't say anything after me, anything afterwards as well. So, first off, I'd like to
Mm.
again for Chadwick, I'd like to say, may he rest in peace and everything, and amen to that. And how did you come by getting the job for training Chadwick Boseman? Because Black Panther, without a shadow of a doubt, one of the best Marvel movies ever made. It had some of the best fight. It had the best fight scenes in all the. In my opinion, it had the best fight scenes in the entire MCU. I'm gonna tell it with complete honesty. It was just great because you see the
Oh,
capoeira in there. It was, and I think I have to give you all the credit for that, Sensei. So, how did you go by getting the job for training Chadwick?
so like I said, I don't believe in coincidences. So I believe, in fact, I can tell you, I was talking to a person, right?
Yes.
Several years before, because I was not a comic book kid. I didn't grow up reading comic books.
Right.
Um, but a lot of my friends did. And then, but a couple years before they announced Chadwick as the Black Panther, I was just hanging out with some friends and they were talking to me about it. And they're like, "Hey, have you ever heard of this Black Panther movie coming up?" I said, "No, I don't know what you're talking about." And they were like, "They're gonna cast somebody to play as T'Challa." And I was like, "What's that?" And they were like explaining it to me. They were like, "You should try out. You should try out to try to be the Black Panther." And I was like, "Nah, I don't." I didn't know anything about it, so I was just like, "I don't see any reason I would do that."
No.
Um, and but it kind of piqued my curiosity, so I went home and I started looking up, what is this Black Panther thing? And
Yeah.
mind you, this is before I ever met him. And I read on the internet that it said that the Black Panther, in the Marvel universe, was supposed to be one of the best or the greatest martial artists in the universe. And I was like, I don't know, is that like real comic book lore? Like, I don't know, but I thought it was cool.
It was.
I was
Yeah.
like, that now that would be cool. So what I did was I went back to my friend, and I think he brought it up to me again, and I said, I'm not going to try out for that. I said, but whoever they cast as the lead for that movie, I should train them.
Oh,
And that's
nice.
all I said, and I forgot about
So you
it.
planted the seed.
Like
You planted the
I,
seed.
I planted the cosmic seed, and then I projected it out into the universe, and you know it came back.
Hmm.
Um,
Yeah, I like the way you did
so
that. I planted the seed.
right,
That was awesome.
yeah, it's like,
And then
and
here it is.
it was so cool because not too long after that,
Yes.
uh, I met I met um, Grandmaster Bill McLeod, which was actually Chadwick's sensei,
Oh, nice.
right?
So Chadwick had a martial arts
And he's
background.
like, yeah, he studies a style called Sanukis. Okay,
Sanukis.
and I can Sanukis. Yeah, I can send you some information on that.
Oh, please, please,
Um,
whatever you can.
very, very. It's a smooth style. You'll like it. And so anyway, I'm talking to his sensei, and he says, "Hey, listen, I saw you in the Protector too. I would like my student to train with you because he's getting ready for this project." And I'm like, "Yeah, okay. Well, who's your student?" And he says, "Oh, his name's Chadwick Boseman." And I still didn't know a lot about him being cast as a Black Panther. So then I think it was a couple days later, Chadwick called me. Right, he called me on the phone, and he was just like, "Hey, listen, I'm doing this movie called The Black Panther," and I was like, "Bing!" I was like, "Oh, there it is. There it is." I'm
That's
listening,
awesome.
universe. I'm listening.
Yeah,
And
I'm always listening to
so
you.
long
Oh,
story
yeah,
short,
yeah.
yeah, I'm listening. Having that dialogue with the universe. So I was like, but I was very grateful because I always tell people this part of the story, and I think this is a very, very important part of the story that everyone should remember about Chadwick Boseman is that in that first phone call, he was already a star, right? He had already done a bunch of movies.
Yeah.
And now he's about to star in probably one of the most impactful movies in the world, Black Panther, right?
Yeah.
And he's so humble. He's so humble because I'm living in Florida. He's living in California. And he says, "Hey, I want you to train me for the Black Panther. Is that possible?" I say, "Yeah, it is possible, but I don't want to train in California. I don't want to train in Hollywood." And
Yeah.
he was like, "Yeah, I understand." I said, "Because I don't want to get involved in all that, the hustle and the bustle. I want to get involved in all that." Because he was already famous at that point. And I was like, "We need to be in a secluded space where we can just focus on training and none of that other stuff." Um, and he was like, "I agree." And I was like, "So why don't you come to Florida and let's train in my garage? The same
Oh,
way that
nice.
I used to train with my sensei." And this man says, "Let's do it. I'll fly to you,
Yeah.
uh, and I'll train in your garage." And so some people have seen that I've posted some short clips of me and Chadwick training in my garage,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
That was more than a year before he started pre-production on Black Panther.
Nice.
Okay. This man was willing to fly back and forth from California to Florida to train in my little garage
Yeah.
a week at a time, putting in crazy hours of work. I mean, we were training like all day, all day. And then when he got ready to finally get ready to do the Black Panther movie, very similar to what happened with me and Dave Bautista with WWE, Chadwick asked me, he said, "Hey, how about I take you on set with me, and I want you to be there as my action coach to oversee my Black Panther style and action."
Yes.
And I was like, "Yeah, let's do it. Let's do that."
That's
So
that's nice.
that's how that's part of the story. Yeah.
That's awesome because without a shadow of a doubt, Chadwick, he seemed when I watched his interviews and everything, without a shadow of a doubt, he was one of the nicest, most humble people ever. I remember watching this when he was doing this big stage talk, and he was talking about giving a lot of respect to Denzel Washington as well. When he was saying that without Denzel, there would be no Black Panther. So sent him a lot of respect as well towards that and everything, because he always respected those who gave him respect. And again, may he rest in peace and everything. And what was the overall training you did for him? Because I know you, other than training him in capoeira, well, what was the overall training you did for him, like with the weights, and what martial arts did you teach him?
So actually,
Yes,
where we started was, and we would text message each other back and forth. But the very first thing that we started with was, we called it Warrior King Training Camp.
nice,
Okay.
good name to it.
Warrior King Training Camp. And the most important part of the training was to start with the psychology, that the fact that the Black Panther was a king. And
Yes.
this is very important.
Oh
This
yeah,
is very
without a doubt.
important, because, Chadwick was very conscious. And the idea that this man was a royal leader of a nation, we have to start with that mentality. So he's not some thug. He's not some dude who's just, got claws and just want to rip people up. That ain't what he's doing.
Yeah, good way of putting it.
You know what I'm saying? This is. So we had to start with, and me and him both were doing this together. We were like, what is the mentality? What is the true intention of this king, and what is he trying to create? What
Yes,
is he trying to bring into the world?
yes,
And so we led with that. And then that told us, okay, so that means that when he's wearing his royal attire, he's not going to get on the ground and wrestle around and brawl with people,
yeah. I
right?
saw that. Yeah, yeah,
Right. But when he puts on the suit, he's more covert. He can do things and that need to be done, but protect the people that he loves as well. So there was a lot of psychology and a lot of thinking about how this would play out versus like what moves he's gonna do. Um, yeah, all that was driven by his love for his family, his love for his nation, his love for himself, his humility, but also his ability to turn it on when it's time to get it in. So it was a lot, man. It was a lot more than just the moves.
Oh no, I saw that as well. I saw the boxing training, the Kali training. You trained him in quite a lot of martial arts, didn't you, to get him prepped up for the role? But without a doubt, he had one of the best physiques ever for a comic book character to be brought to life, especially one that people have been waiting decades to come on screen. And Chadwick, without a shadow of a doubt, nobody but him could have played that role. I have to be honest with you.
Absolutely, absolutely, yeah,
Nobody but
absolutely,
him could have
absolutely,
played that role.
yeah, absolutely. And you know, he has a personal trainer as well, Addison.
Oh
Okay,
yeah,
who's a really, yeah, he's a really good trainer, and he was really close friends with Chadwick as well. He was there with us. So I focused on the martial arts training.
yeah.
Addison focused on his fitness training, right? So that wasn't me. I just want to make that clear that I didn't do his fitness coach. Okay. Um, but also the stunt team. See, and this is the other aspect of it.
Yes.
Marvel already had hired a stunt team,
Yeah.
right? And so there was a fight coordinator, JoJo, who was the head of the fight choreography, that a lot of the fight choreography pieces for the whole movie,
Oh yeah.
right? And so when I came in, I worked also with JoJo to make sure that whatever they had planned already, then I had to take all the stuff that me and Chadwick had done in the garage and then try to weave that into what they were doing. So when you say, "Hey, I really love the action in this movie," I want you to understand the fabric of what it took so much weaving and so I'm really happy to hear you say that you love the action because it took a lot of work. It was great.
I've always loved action. I've always, with me growing up, obviously in the 80s, it was always action everywhere you'd look. You know, there was Stallone, Schwarzenegger, Van Damme, Lundgren, and Chadwick kind of, bless his heart, he kind of brought it all back. Same with yourself. You're bringing back, real raw elements that we haven't seen in so many years. And again, grateful for you to bringing back all this great entertainment for us as well. You're pleasing the fans everywhere you go. So thank you again, Sensei.
Oh man, and thank you because look at this. Check this, right?
Yes.
I was talking about Grandmaster Bill McLeod, which is Chadwick's actual sensei,
Yeah.
right? Because I see Chadwick as a brother, right? Like sometimes people be like, "Oh, you trained Chadwick." I'm like, I taught Chadwick for the movie, but it was deeper than the movie because he's my brother in the martial way, and he's, you know what I mean? He's like my spiritual brother, you know what I mean? So,
Yes.
but his teacher, Grandmaster Bill McLeod, had already prepared and taught him what I call the martial way. He already taught him martial arts.
Yes. Yes.
So my job was much easier because we already speak the same language, right?
Yes.
We already speak the same language. We speak in the true martial way. And I really believe that the values that were taught through all the centuries, throughout all of time where
Yeah.
martial arts has existed in humanity, the values are the core, right?
I agree. I agree.
And I believe that martial art movies instilled those. We put those into the script, right? We tried to, right? We put that into the
Yeah.
script
Yeah.
because every great movie starts with a great script, right?
Of course.
Well, Black Panther, because Chadwick Boseman was a true martial artist, as he's reading the script, he's filtering out all of the stuff that doesn't align with the true martial way.
Nice.
You get what I'm saying?
Yeah. Yeah. I 100% agree with you. I
And
saw that transition on the screen as well.
and this is why I always tell people, like, when I learned how to do what I call screen fighting or stunt fighting,
Yes.
honestly, I had to adjust my some of my movements, but I've never adjusted my mindset.
Yeah. I get what
Right?
you mean.
Like, you get what I'm saying? Like, I've
Yeah. Yeah.
adjusted so the camera can see it. I've adjusted so that I protect the stunt person, right? And myself. But I've never changed my mindset. My mindset has always been true martial arts. And so this is where I personally feel like those people you just named off, John Claude Van Damme, Michael Jai White, Bruce Lee, Jackie Chan, Jet Li, Tony Jaa, did I say Donnie Yen? I mean, I
Yeah.
could keep going and going and going, but they all have something in common.
The
That
philosophy. Yeah.
background.
Yeah.
Yeah,
The
that
background.
background, which brings the philosophy.
Yep.
And Chadwick had that before he ever stepped on a Black Panther set. That's why that movie was deeply unique.
Fantastic, fantastic. That was one of the most beautiful stories I've ever heard, Sensei. I have to admit to that as well. You're a great storyteller as well. And so one last question is, in your opinion, in your words as a martial artist, what is the most important lesson to learn from martial arts?
I'm not gonna rush with this one. Give me a second.
Oh, please take your time. Take your time.
The most important. Say it again.
So, what is the most important lesson to learn from martial arts?
I think it's two parts
Please.
for now, and I reserve the right to upgrade this the next time we talk.
Oh, consider it done.
Um, I think it first teaches you to truly believe in yourself. That's the first thing. I think it teaches you to find your actual confidence, when you can believe in yourself from in here.
Yes.
But I also think it teaches you that you can change. I think it teaches you that you're not stuck, right? Because in life, a lot of times we define ourselves by our upbringing and by our conditioning, our culture, whatever it is, even your style, right? Or martial
Yeah,
arts, we might get caught and stuck. But I think it teaches us that we have the possibility and the capability to change and become more.
that's
Yeah.
got to give you applause for that, Sensei. Honestly, that is one of the best answers I've ever heard. And I've asked this question to a lot of people who have been trained in martial arts, from pro kickboxers here in the UK, people who run dojos here in the UK, and even people I grew up admiring as well. You know, that is some of the best answers that I've ever heard from coming from somebody. So I'm going to extend more respect towards you. Thank you.
Yes. And
Yeah.
and and I would like to say, like, those what I just shared with you are lessons that I learned from my ninjutsu teacher, Stephen K. Hayes. Um, that's something, what I just shared with you is something that he shared with me, and it has been infinitely life changing for me. And so I just want to make sure I put more of that out into the universe. And for anybody who really needed to hear that, I hope that it landed and I hope that it touched them in the heart. And I mean that, like, that's not like a speech or nothing. I mean that because it really is life changing. So,
No, I agree with that, Sensei. Thank you very much for that. Well, Sensei Crump, thank you so much for coming on my show. Again, I really appreciate it. It's an honor to talk to you. Again, I extend best wishes towards you. Again, I extend peace and blessings upon you as well. And if you're in the UK, remember dinner's on me. And you grab a matcha, I'll grab a coffee as well. If we ever go out. I know a lot of nice spots. And if I'm ever out there in the US, let's link up and get a session in
you did.
together as well. Yeah.
All right, you said dinner's on you, but can I get some gluten-free food? Do they have do they have the
Oh yeah, we
gluten-free?
have that here as well. Don't worry about that as well. If not, I'll scare.
All right, perfect.
We'll scare the gluten out of it.
Cool, man. I appreciate it, man. Thank you, bro. I
Thank you,
appreciate you
brother.
doing this, and thank you for your time.
No, thank you, Sensei. Again, I'm eternally grateful to you, and I'm eternally grateful to Char for putting up with everything, the schedule, not me, me and everything. But we finally arrived here on the podcast and everything. I really
We did it.
appreciate that.
We did it.
brother. Thank you very much. And like I said,
All good, bro.
if I'm ever out in the US, I'll definitely give you a shout and let's get a training session and everything. And you can show me the best coffee spots, so I can go do a nice food vlog out there as well.
Got you. No problem, bro.
Thank you very much, brother. Thank you.
All right, man. Peace.
Peace. Thank you. And everybody, please do not forget to give Sensei Crump a follow, and please subscribe to his channel as well. I'll throw the link in the description.
Thank you.
Thank you. So I'm going to